Hello, wonderful ones. Welcome. Thanks for joining today. Those of you that know me well know that every now and then I love to offer a practice that focuses on the spine. So today we will enjoy moving the spine through all the degrees of freedom it has to offer. A little bit of forward folding, back bending, side bending, twisting, and axial extension, that length vertically up through the spine. And the invitation is to look for a little bit of movement in a lot of places in the spine as you move today. So in the spirit of equanimity, looking to create balanced, even sensation throughout the whole spinal column. I hope you enjoy the practice, and I'll see you on the mat. Okay, beautiful ones, let us begin in a child's pose today. So we'll come down onto our knees, and my invitation is for you to have the knees hip-width distance apart or together, and we'll come gently forward. You might reach the arms forward or have the arms alongside the body, palms facing upwards. And if for whatever reason today child's pose just isn't for you, maybe you've got tender knees at the moment, then come and lay back on your back and hug the knees into the chest instead. This is child's pose, but just upside down, right? So just gently hugging the knees in. And we'll take a few moments to arrive in our child's pose or our reclining knees to chest, allowing the awareness to melt down into the body. And knowing that here in your child's pose or reclining knees to chest, your precious spine is in a gentle flexion, forward fold. The back surface of the spine is just gently arcing upwards towards the space behind you, above you. You might like to invite the breath to wash a little more fully into the body. I like to imagine here that my breath is just nudging into all the little spaces between the vertebrae of the spine, washing through the spine. Let's take one more breath here. And wherever you are, child's pose or reclining with the knees to the chest, we'll make our way gently up and on to all fours, hands and knees. Adjust the knees so they're under the hips if they're not already, and hands shoulder width distance. And let's just gently start to arch through the spine. Lift the sit bones, drop the belly, draw the chest forward. So coming into gentle spinal extension here. Cat pose, and just stay an extra breath or two and just noticing that right now the front surface of the spine is longer than the back surface of the spine. And then we'll travel the other way. Press the mat away, curl the tail under, rounding through the spine, head releases down. Pause a breath or two here and just noticing now that the spine is in gentle flexion, the back surface of the spine is longer than the front surface of the spine. And then just take a few breaths, breath washing through the body as you alternate between the two. And see if you can invite an evenness in this movement. So a little bit of movement in a lot of spaces, all the way along the spinal column. And also inviting even sensation, so not needing sensation to be limited or really concentrated in one section of the spine. Spreading sensation evenly through the spine by finding balanced, even movement, a little bit of movement in all the spaces rather than a lot of movement in one place. So one more breath here. And the next time you inhale back into a gentle little back bend, cow pose, let's curl the toes under and lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. And in this downward dog, let it be about that beautiful length we can find through the spine. Sometimes it's called axial extension, the length vertically up the spine. So as you press the mat away with the hands, we've got the tops of the thighs lifting or reaching up and back. Another breath in your down dog and just enjoying breath washing through the body, perhaps imagining the breath washing down the spine on the inhalation and all the way back up the spine towards the crown of the head on the exhalation. And next inhale, we'll rock forward to plank pose. And let's take a little look at our right hand and step it one hand's length forward of where it was. Then we'll pivot to the outer edge of the right foot and step our left foot halfway up the mat with the left toes turning towards the left edge of the mat. Let's bring our left hand onto the top of our left thigh and we'll take a little side bend now for the spine. So allow the right hip to just drop towards the mat and the right shoulder might shrug up towards the right ear. So it sort of feels like there's lots of length right now through the right side of the spine and the left side of the spine is shortening. And then we'll go the other way. Press the left foot down and the right hand down to lift the right hip away from the mat, and we'll reach the left arm up and over. And you can really allow that left shoulder to turn a little forward and down as though we were reaching the left fingertips towards the front edge of the mat. And on your next exhale, let's release that. Both hands to the mat and step up and back to downward facing dog. And then take a breath in your downward dog, looking for that beautiful length. Breath washing down through the spine towards the tail and up and out towards the crown of the head. And then one more time, inhale, rock forward to plank pose. Left hand steps one hand's length further forward. So it's quite a lot actually, but it'll make it much more comfortable for your left shoulder. Now as we pivot to the outside edge of our left foot, step our right foot halfway up the mat and turn our right toes towards the right edge of the mat. Right hand can just rest on the right thigh as we gently lower the left hip down and shrug the left shoulder just up towards the left ear. And when that feels like enough for you, press the left hand and the right foot down and lift the left hip up. Right arm reaches up and over towards the top edge of the mat here. So right side of body long, right ribs fanning up towards the space above you. And then we'll release right hand to mat, hands shoulder width, step back, downward facing dog. Another breath in down dog. Looking for that beautiful length through the full circumference of the spine. It's three-dimensional, isn't it? So there's not just the back, but there's the front surface of the spine and the sides too. And then let's walk our feet forward towards our hands at the top of the mat. Soften the knees and take your time as you just slowly roll up the spine, unfurling vertebra by vertebra like a beautiful fern frond, unfurling, shoulders and head last. You might roll the shoulders up and back and down when you arrive, standing in Tadasana as the spine just gracefully, effortlessly emerges upward and the skull rests at the top of the spinal column. And from here, inhale, reach up. Exhale, right hand to outer right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. Return to center and leaning over to the left. Return to center and folding over our legs. Now inhale, come halfway, hands to shins, lift the chest and see if you can find that axial extension again, that length vertically through the spine as the crown of your head reaches forward and the tops of the thighs and the sitting bones are reaching back. Take another in-breath here and then exhale, hands to the mat. Pick up your left foot first today and step it back behind you into a lunge. We'll come up into crescent lunge and reach the arms. So if it's possible for you here, soften the back knee, bend the back knee. And that will just help some of us to find a little bit more neutrality in the pelvis so the top rim of the buttock can lengthen down, and from there we'll be able to twist with a little more ease. So we'll add rotation into the practice now for the spine. Arms are reaching, turn the palms forward and bend the elbows into a cactus shape. And when you're ready, stay upright, turn towards the right, towards your front leg. Then we'll bring hands to heart center. Reach through that back leg, straighten the back leg, lean forward, left elbow to right knee. And as your right hand presses down into the left hand, the right hip draws in and back towards your left heel, towards your back heel. Take another in-breath, get a little longer, crown of head reaching up and away. And then as we exhale, we'll unwind hands to the mat and we'll step forward and fold. Soften the knees, take your time, slowly rolling, vertebra by vertebra, each segment of the spine stacking upon one another. Shoulders roll up and back and down when we arrive. And we'll go to the second side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right hand to outer right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. Return to center and leaning over to the left. Return to center and folding over our legs. Find halfway, axial extension, lots of length through the spine here. And then exhale, hands to mat. We step our right foot back this time. Come up into your crescent lunge, lift the torso, reach the arms, arrive here. And if it's possible, back knee bends. If it doesn't work for you today, for your back knee, then it's okay to keep the back leg straight. And sensing here a real sense of uprightness. The head is right above your rib cage, which is above your pelvis. When you're ready, palms turn forward and we'll bend the elbows. Staying upright, rotating towards the left, and just give yourself time here to experiencing this rotation in this upright position. And then we'll bring hands to heart center, hands to Anjali Mudra, back leg straight, right elbow to left knee, left hand pressing into right hand. And this outer left hip, the front leg hip, is gently drawing in and back towards the back heel. Each breath, it's as though the crown of the head is reaching further forward and up, and the back leg is long and strong. Last inhale. And then we'll exhale and let it go. Hands to the mat, and this time we'll step back. Beautiful ones, beautiful beings, stepping back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take an inhale, we'll rock forward to plank pose. And as we exhale, lower the knees, gently lower all the way down onto the mat. We'll have our hands, fingertips just behind the shoulders today. Squeeze the upper arms in alongside the body. And the fingertips are just gently gripping the mat. And as they gently grip the mat, they're gently tractioning the mat back. So now we'll enjoy a little bit more spinal extension, a little more back bending. So as you inhale, gently lift the chest into a low cobra. And as you exhale, hands gently tractioning the mat back as you lengthen the crown of the head forward. Let's take 3 more cobra poses at your own pace. Looking for balanced, even sensation through the spine again. And a little bit of movement through the full length of the spinal column. Last one, last cobra pose. And the next time you find yourself all the way back down, let's curl the toes under, press to all fours, and lift the hips up and back into another downward dog. Breath washing in the body, down the spine, all the way towards the base of the spine. And then pouring out of the body, moving up the spine towards the crown of the head. Next exhale, let's lower the knees to the mat. And we're going to play with a variation of camel pose today. So let's come and stand on the shins, knees about hip width distance. Fold the mat or a blanket under the knees if they're sensitive today. Firm the buttocks. And let's reach our left arm up. And we'll bend the left elbow, cradle the back of the head with the left hand today. And the left elbow is actually just gently hugging in towards the skull and lifting up. Now right hand can rest on the lower back here on the right hand side of the lower back. Fingertips just lengthening down as a gentle reminder, firming the glutes, lengthening the top rim of the buttock down. And then we'll turn and look over our right shoulder or turn towards our right. Hand can stay on the lower back or release back to the right heel. Then we can press the hips just gently forward and we'll turn the heart back up towards the space above us. Just one breath here. To come out today, release the left hand, reach the left fingertips diagonally up and away, and press the floor away. Release a moment. Sit back on the heels, untuck the toes, take a breath, observing the body. Sensations in the body. Spine nice and neutral and even, front, back, and sides. And then we'll play with our last side when you're ready. Coming up onto the shins, tuck the toes. Right arm reaches, right elbow bends and cradles the back of the skull. Left hand to left side of lower back. Allow the buttocks to firm. And when you're ready, just turning gently as though you were going to look over your left shoulder. You might not actually look, but it's as though you're just turning to the left. And then you can keep the hand where it is, release it to the left heel. Gently start to draw the hips forward again and turn the heart and the right shoulder back upwards. We're just here for another breath. Ustrasana, camel pose variation. To release the right arm diagonally forward and up. And it's as though someone is gently pulling your fingertips to lift you up and out. And you can sit the hips back down on the heels. Beautiful. Let's take one more downward facing dog after that, just so you can experience that beautiful length through the spine again. Hands just pressing the mat gently away, reaching through the arms, long through the side seams of the body, tops of thighs lifting up and back as the feet press down. One more inhale. Then we'll exhale and lower the knees to the mat. And let's sit our hips to one side. Bring our legs out wide into an Upavista Konasana shape. And if it feels like you're going to fall backwards today onto whatever's behind you, then you might take a folded blanket and sit up on the front edge of your folded blanket. Just elevating the hips a little can be really helpful. Okay, so let's settle here. You might rest the hands on the thighs, on the tops of the thighs. And once again, just as you did in your standing Tadasana, just sensing in to head above ribs, above pelvis, spine just so gracious. It's emerging like a beautiful plant up out of the bowl of the pelvis, and the head like a sunflower on the top of the spine or column. And to close today, we'll gently come forward into a forward fold. So you can allow your spine to gently curve forward again, like in your child's pose. You might just lean on the hands, come onto the forearms, or you might come all the way down and rest the forehead on the backs of the hands. So find just the right amount for you. Once again, in this forward fold, looking for just a little bit of movement, a little bit of forward flexion in all the places, all the way along the spine. Doesn't matter how far you go, right? Trusting that you can meet yourself where you are right now. Two more delicious breaths here. Breath washing down the spine on the inhale and up on the exhale. Nourishing breath. Cleansing breath. And on your next inhale, use the hands and the arms to support you, to draw yourself gently back up. You can support the legs with the hands and find your way into any comfortable seat. Okay, cross-legged or kneeling, or maybe sitting on your sofa or on a chair, and let the hands just fall into the lap or on the thighs. Take a moment to sort of find just right. Closing the eyes and sensing again this beautiful column of the spine, like a string of pearls on a necklace. Each vertebra alighting upon the one before it effortlessly. The sit bones are anchored and the thighs are heavy. Spine natural and balanced in its curve. And the skull just settling at the very top. Notice how it feels to celebrate your spine today. Thank you for sharing your practice. Peace, peace, peace.